All right, so here's the rule proposal, Gator. The Indianapolis Colts, this is the time of year where teams submit rule proposals. The Indianapolis Colts have submitted a rule proposal that will permit a coach or replay official inside of 2 minutes to challenge any foul that has been called. So holding, reviewable. Pass interference, reviewable. Illegal hands to the face, reviewable. Now, let me start with this. Anytime there's a rule change, my first thought is, all right, how will the Detroit Lions be screwed on this first?
Sure. That's where we're used to go.
Yeah, that's how things work out for us. What do you make of this? Because if you don't have a thought yet, I'll go.
No, I've got a thought on this, and it's the subjective plays that people say, oh, you can call holding on any play.
Mm-hmm.
This is what kind of scares me, because there's a flow of the game that players are used to, that you've let this go, or you've called this, you called this. So there's a flow of the game thing that I don't want to disrupt. But I also think there are some plays that may seem like it's subjective but aren't, and you could clearly change it. So I'd like to eliminate, unless you see a blatant, tackling of a player to call holding, it would have to be one of these clear and obvious things when you get to those things with interference or with holding. But to me, it's always been about the face mask or the hands to the face. How is it that we can't review those calls, as it is right now? You want to throw that into a rule change, I'm for it. I'm less for it to be the all-encompassing anything goes on a penalty call inside of 2 minutes.
I don't think they're saying this. I don't want them to be able to challenge penalties that weren't called. Okay, so 5 seconds left, ball gets snapped, throw to the end zone, caught, touchdown, we win the game. Oh, they're challenging that the left tackle held. It wasn't called during the play. Like that I don't want.
See, but
I don't want this at all. I'm in favor of less replay, not more replay.
I don't want it for calls like holding and seemingly most interference calls, and yet at the same time, if there's something that's blatantly obvious and it's not called, you're going to be so upset about it. And I know what your stance is. You and I differ on this.
Yep.
Your stance on replay is you want less. I want more because I want to get the calls right. But I understand your point on it, and it does get to a point where you're like, "Oh my God, how much more are we slowing this game down?"
We stopped the game too much already. That's one. Two is when we've introduced replay, we expect perfection, and we're still as frustrated as we ever were. So what's the point? Just get rid of it, let the game flow, and the officials will do their best, and we all have to overcome it. And I know people hate it and say if you can get a call right, you should get it right, and I understand that. But I've noticed, even since replay has come into the games, we still bitch about officiating as much as we ever did before. So we're never achieving the goal of what replay is after.
I also feel like that behind the scenes, the NFL is doing something that's kind of leading towards that, where they're just getting the call right inside of 2 minutes. I feel like there's discussions go on from somebody up above who is seeing something that they haven't called and like, okay, you guys totally missed an interference call up there. Huddle together and start discussing whether or not you want to call it. And then they're like, did you see it? Yeah, I saw it. Okay. It's confirmed upstairs. Yeah. I think we have defensive holding on 34.
So you're talking about sky judge late flags coming in.
Yeah, I already think that kind of happens covertly, but I've seen I remember the game against 2 different games against the Packers that just destroyed Lions fans. There was the one in Green Bay where Flowers got called for 2 calls, hands to the face.
Yep.
And it wasn't. It was blatantly, just flat out wasn't. And they got screwed on it. And then there was a game against the Packers, that Hail Mary, where the Lions clearly didn't defend it right. But right before they threw the Hail Mary, they called the face mask because Aaron Rodgers faked it out like he got face mask.
That gave him the untimed down?
Yeah. So I can't help but go back to those instances against the Packers and say, I want to right the wrongs in the future. And at the same time, I understand your point about just bogging everything down. Yep. And that's why I think I only want to do it for certain plays and allow for a sky judge to make that judgment before things get out of hand.
Kang, what do you make of this rule proposal?
I like replay overall because you're correcting wrongs that would never been corrected before. But I totally, like Gator agrees, and understands your point of view that, when you open up this box, there's a lot of things that negatives that we didn't cons that we didn't think about, or I think what it is we just got to keep trying to tweak it. It is what it is. It's never going to be perfect. You just keep trying to make it better and better every single year, every single month, whatever it is. But I think in the end, it's better for everybody.
Yeah. The question is, though, that as far as this rule proposal, that you can challenge a penalty inside of 2 minutes. I mean, do you care? Do you think that's good, bad? Would you approve that?
Well, this is part of the tweaking process, right? Yeah. I mean, right now I would not approve of that, but it doesn't mean I'm closing the door on that. I think there is going to be a situation that comes up maybe I haven't thought about yet, that where you go, you know what? You did need to challenge that within 2 minutes. So as of right now, I wouldn't change it, but you always got to keep this is a continually fluid thing, right? Every year they got to go back to this and see how can we make this better.